Hey, I am True Poet. This is Missing Conversation where the conversation is missing. I got another special guest today, but this time, this is my first woman guest. Good person, great attitude. Yeah, welcome my guest, Bubble Tea.
Hey y'all. First woman. What? I'm honored.
Yeah, you're the first woman, man. You're the first. I figured have to get a couple of women on here to get their point of views. So why not it be you, so we could talk about the different aspects of relationships and the demise of relationships and what are the causes from both sides of the coin. So,
Okay.
my first question to you is how do you feel about the current state of relationships?
Oh man. Uh According to my friends, it is wild out there in these streets, and I should avoid the streets like the plague, is what I hear. As far as I'm aware, the dating scene, it looks like trash, is what everybody says. But honestly, I think that, there's gonna be a shift in the momentum because, this generation's dating success is not being it hasn't been all that great. I feel like there's gonna be like a monumental shift in the way that dating is gonna occur because of how it's been like for this last maybe decade or so. It's a lot of money grabbing, a lot of, people being just outside in the world and not really being committed. So I think people are going to say like, "Hey, this is trash. We don't want this," and they're going to turn around. That's my thought.
Hmm, that's an interesting thought. My thoughts on this current pool of dating. It's horrible, man. It's horrible. And my assessment on it is a lot of a lot of people are selfish. I don't think they really understand the concept of relationships, marriage, even parenting. It's very, very selfish. I tell you, and we have a couple of talks about this stuff, but I don't think I ever been with a woman that was totally unselfish. I think and I thought about this today. Now, I'm gonna bring this up to you. I'm gonna tell you a story, right, with my grandparents, which is kind of
Mhm.
crazy that I think about it, but I think my grandmother and my grandfather are the two most unselfish people I've ever known because like when we were younger, my grandparents used to take us to like the park, the skating ring, Six Flags, out to eat. And when we used to go to the skating ring, we used to be there from the time it started until it closed, right? So my grandmother and my grandfather never skated, but they would find a seat and they just would watch. And then now I think a lot of what the attributes that I have with my kids of being patience and being patient with other people and recognizing that it doesn't always have to be about me. It could be about somebody else and let them enjoy. I think I got that from my grandparents because man, I till this day with even parents, it's a lot of selfishness. I don't see parents actually staying with their kids and being there at the skating rink. Most parents or grandparents or family members usually drop the kids off and come back. You see what I'm saying?
Oh yeah. Yeah. it's usually like one parent that kind of gets stuck with all the kids. If you have, like at the skating rink, like we'll just see, make sure you're with Johnny's people. Don't go outside, and we'll see when it's time to get picked up. Just call us. That's usually the thing that happens.
But my
But I
grandparents
mean,
never did that. They stayed every time. They never left us, even when we was teenagers. They
okay,
stayed
but were
there.
your grand
Go ahead.
go ahead. No, I was saying, are your grandparents the ones that were designated as the ones who watched then? Did other parents drop off their kids with your grandparents?
No, it would just be us. They would be there with us, like the
Oh
grandkids.
wow.
So we wouldn't be amongst other kids. It would just be us and maybe even sometimes just me. And they would stay. Like every time I had any type of sporting events, because I played a lot of sports. They was at every game. They was on the sideline cheering, and just a lot of this stuff they wasn't into, but because we enjoyed it, they stayed with us. They never left. They never dropped us off at all. And I thought about it the other day, and I said, man, they was really unselfish, and even unselfish towards each other as well. They uh they never, it wasn't just one sided and all about them. Sometimes my grandfather would want to do stuff and my grandmother would be there and vice versa. So it was very, very unselfish. Compared to now, I think a lot of people are selfish. And even with my kids, I never dropped them off. I would stay with them at the skating ring. I would stay with them at the movies. So I think that kind of rubbed off on me. But you don't really see that of them, parents and grandparents staying. And they would find a spot and they would be in the same spot. So if we're at the skating rink from 3 to 7, we would be there at 3 and we would leave at 7 o'clock. If we went to Six Flags, we would be there all the way from the morning to the night. My grandmother would make sandwiches. We would have juice. We'd have food. So we'll come out to the car and eat our food or whatever we got and drinks and go right back in the park. And we would stay there all day. And they didn't get on no roller coasters. They didn't do nothing. So anything that we wanted to do, they was just there to support and enjoyed us having fun. Tell me that's not unselfish.
That definitely is not unselfish. But
Man, I missed them.
also,
I missed them so bad, man. I missed them.
I
Go
bet.
ahead. Go ahead.
No, I would say not that you miss them. I mean, they sound spectacular. But I would push back a little bit in saying that I don't think that that's that uncommon still. I know I'm a parent as well, and I do go, if we go into Six Flags, I'm not gonna just sit there and watch you ride though. I'm gonna read on the ride too. Um, I like to, because I'm a rider, so I like to go ride. Um, but I'm gonna be one of those people that stays with the kids
Oh,
as well. Oh, yeah,
oh,
and actually, a lot of the people that I know actually stay with their kids as well. I know that some people may not have the capacity. Maybe they got to work. Maybe they got to, like a lot of kids. If you got like four kids and two parents, then somebody's going to have to get dropped off, or somebody doesn't get to participate in their activities. So, like, what are you going to do? Eventually, you got to drop off somebody. Uh, but definitely, I do think people are more selfish. Maybe just not necessarily in that way, but I think people are, selfish. And lots of people are selfish in ways that we don't really see publicly, but like when they get home, maybe they're more selfish. So